You're listening to the Slow Ride Podcast. Bikes, advice, and rumors straight from the source. TheSlowRidePodcast.com and on Twitter at TheSlowRidePod. Enjoy the ride.
Alright, let's go.
Alright. Okay. Hello and welcome to the
71st. 71st.
70. Alright. Hello and welcome to the 71st episode of the Slow Ride Podcast. I am the little guy in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
And I am Spencer Howe in Boston, Massachusetts, where we are excited to bring you another team-free episode. The last couple weeks have been a fun experiment. We've been taking some calls. It's not really gone so well, you might say. It's been a little... It's been a little hairy.
We decided we're gonna hire a new third host.
Some on-air talent.
Since we don't really roll that deep, we got a third host to hire us. He's a rich man. He's here to host the show. Say hello, Thaddius.
Hello, I'm Thaddius Bellweather. How's it going, guys?
Pretty good. And where are you located, Thaddeus?
I am located on the side of a mountain in Spain.
Beautiful.
And right now, I'm in my chalet. Earlier today, I drove my car around just looking for Nibali. Vincenzo!
Do you think he's already back in Italy? I bet he's on the beach.
You think he's on the beach already?
Yeah, I bet he went straight to the beach.
He's either there or he's on the back of your car.
I built some tow ropes on the back of the car. Looking pretty good. I actually am sponsoring a new team Sticky Bottle.
That's pretty good. That's a good one, Thaddeus.
Are you doing this? Are you doing the same joke that the sticky bottle? Yeah. Anyway,
that's a Phil Liggett joke.
Oh.
Yeah, that was good.
All right,
Good.
so
Had me on the edge of my seat.
Hey, since I'm the new benefactor of the show, can we start talking about some real bike racing?
Let's do it.
Sure, whatever you
All
like,
right,
Let's
Thaddeus.
go for it.
Let's go.
I'd like to talk about the United Pro Cycling Challenge presented by Quiznos / Smashburgers.
Sounds good. What's that?
Is it still presented by Quiznos?
Was it ever? I don't know. What I do know is that it's
Something
a
was
big bike
presented by
race in
Quiznos.
Colorado that apparently people care about, and
I thought there
all
was
I
like
know
a
is-
BMC training camp in Colorado.
yeah, BMC did pretty well. I think Rohan Denny won the race, but what's really important is Taylor Phinney came out, and I will say this in all seriousness, got second place on the final stage, won one of the stages. That guy's on fire, and I can't hope anymore for a giant victory at the World Championships in Richmond, Virginia. How awesome would that be if Taylor Phinney could pull it off?
That'd be good.
That would be
Pretty
pretty
exciting.
awesome. I do have to agree with you
Especially
on that,
'cause-
Thaddeus.
We're American, and we usually suck at world championships.
That's not totally true, although I will
Well,
say
in
that-
the men's race, the last,
we
the last chunk
won.
of time.
We won with Le
Not in the
Mans. We
women's.
won
We
in
won too.
'93. I think that still holds true, right? Or did that one
It
get
does.
taken away? Okay.
Well, and someone had pointed this out to me the other day that in the Velo News magazine, they didn't even mention Lance Armstrong's win at the World Championships, which, regardless if it was full gas or not, they didn't take that victory away. Like, he still has World Championship stripes. And you have Le Mans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm just saying recently that the last one you're talking about there is 93.
Yeah.
So-
89 and 93. Yeah.
Sure, I hear what you're saying, but I mean, there's only been, like, 23 championships since then.
Yeah,
That's about
a
as old
good
as Taylor
point.
Phinney.
Yeah, so there you
that's
go.
true. That's true. Well, did you watch this race, or did you just see Quiznos the whole time?
I was eating Quiznos because now I own all the franchises.
I was going to
Oh,
say,
I
I
got
wasn't.
that.
I wasn't sure they had Quiznos in Spain, but I guess it makes sense. It sounds kind of Spanish.
So, regardless, I don't understand the point of this race.
Okay.
I don't understand the
same
point of the
point
race.
that every race. You start somewhere and then you try to see who can get to the end the fastest.
Like the Tour of Utah seems to have a reason. Because it
what
says
the
Tour of
hell
Utah.
is the reason?
I don't understand where the United States Pro Cycling Challenge is. I guess I don't like give me a name. Like the
name
Gateway
doesn't
Cup.
make any sense.
That's obviously
True.
in St. Louis.
Yeah, why isn't it just called the Tour of Colorado?
I don't know.
Okay.
Anyways, let's go to stuff that actually matters. Let's talk about stuff that actually matters.
Little guy, I want to explore something little guy just said a little bit ago, and it actually segues in nicely here. Little guy, if I can quote you, you just said the point of every bike race is to start somewhere and see who gets to the end fastest. Is that right? Or first or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay. Because
unless it's like one of those weird 21-point blackjack races.
I tuned into the Vuelta earlier this weekend, and a couple of teams didn't seem like they were trying to get to the end very fast at all. What's up with that?
Well, that's true. I don't know how to explain that to you. I do know. Wait, I want to ask. Did TJ complain?
No, he liked it a lot because his team won.
Because his team won, right? Okay.
Well, TJ talked explicitly about how his team dialed in because they're defending team time trial world champions and they're on a mission, and they actually came up with a plan where they had the three guys that were going to get dropped pull for like 800 to a K. And then they just dropped them aside. It was a good
plan. It was a really good plan. Yeah. But beside the other thing is just that TJ's a whiner. They go for cobbles and he whines right on a beach. And he doesn't care.
Little guy, throwing some shade at your arm wrestling competition for the Richmond World Championships, where you're going to arm wrestle TJ Van Garderen. I like how you're taking the upper hand. In wrestling, this is what we would call giving heat.
What would we call it in arm wrestling?
So TJ Van Garderen.
Over the top. Yeah.
TJ did not complain. I was kind of surprised he didn't complain, but like Spencer said, he won. Yeah. But this course went over. We're talking about the opening prologue, basically a team time trial of 7.5K. Went over 7 different types of road surfaces. Yeah. It started in the middle of the ocean, basically at the end of a breaker wall, like a wave break wall. And my favorite part is that it ended on like a stage that was carpeted. Thing. It was carpeted. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah, I can understand why some teams just didn't care and soft pedaled it. Team Sky obviously just were like, screw this.
Yeah,
one of the highlights for me.
I could tell by the times of the finish that Sky didn't care and Astana didn't care, but Europe Car was last place, and I can't tell if they were trying or if they were sandbagging it.
I bet they didn't care. They probably didn't even bring time trial bikes.
No, I was thinking you might do better if you didn't have time trial bikes.
Hey, don't you think Europe Car would want to go all out here so they could, because as they're looking for a sponsor? And then I think it was Shane Stokes on Twitter, tweets right back and goes, yeah, but if they were trying really hard and still got 11th place, then what sponsor would want to take that team?
Yeah, I think maybe they're pretty French. They probably think the Vuelta is stupid.
Yep.
Well,
so they probably just were like mad. They had a croissant.
So shitty croissant, a shitty Spanish croissant. Probably wasn't very fluffy.
Maybe they're blowing the rest of the budget. Maybe they've got like 50K left in the budget, and they're like, "This is the end of it." So they're like, get them flown in every day.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, man. Like the espresso in Paris when I was there was €270, and when you cross the border into Spain, all of a sudden it's €1, and it's kind of awesome. I gotta say, they might think about changing over to be a Spanish team to just really double, almost triple the espresso budget.
So one thing I did take away from the team time trial was how much Team Quickstep probably hates each other. Did you guys see them yelling at each other at the finish line?
I didn't see that because it
was pretty awesome.
I have a policy against watching team time trials.
Okay, so then we go into stage 2, and we actually saw some fireworks. Of course, Esteban Chavez takes the win for Rica Green. He's still in the yellow or red jersey. It was a golden jersey at one time. And good things from Team Astana.
Yeah, I thought it would take them more than 2 stages to completely implode the team. Because in the so obviously Nibali, he did that. He took the toe and he got kicked out. But did you? I mean, you hear the quotes from him about it? It was just that he was like on the ground and was yelling a "Roo." I mean, you could tell he was just like, "Screw my team."
Well, did you
go
see
to
the
hell?
crash? Did you see he was seriously waiting there for a bike forever, and then it's the team director that brought him the bike.
Yeah,
it was to the point that no one was giving him a bike. It was like he was the black sheep, and then the team director was the one taking care of him. It was disappointing for a
I'm not
tour
surprised.
Yeah, but come on, you would think Vinokurov would at least put a little bit of order.
Vinokurov only sent him there as punishment. Oh yeah, I found this clause in your contract that you don't get that bonus for getting top 10 at the Tour unless you actually get top 10 at the Volta as well.
So I was a little.
I mean,
what do you guys think on it?
He's
So
going to
Nibali
get
kicked out.
Yeah, he's going to get destroyed by Aru anyway, even if he was there, because he's tired from the tour.
No.
Because he's tired from the tour,
No.
and Aru's fresh.
He's going to crush.
So,
Well,
what do you
he
guys
got
think
kicked
of
out,
Nibali?
so it doesn't matter.
What do you guys think of Nibali getting kicked out? Spencer, do you feel that it was an apt punishment?
Yeah, I mean, that was egregious. It was an egregious breaking of the rules. He may as well have got in that car. Do
you know what?
Ridiculous.
Do you know what it looked like to me?
The video's amazing.
Do you know what it looked like to me? It looked like remember when there was the video about Cancellara with the buttons, the motor, and how obviously the camera was sped up. So it looks like when he gets up next to the car, it's one of those Nike commercials that all of a sudden just speeds up, and you're like, that looks a little fishy.
See, I thought more it was you can remember playing RC Pro-Am back in the day, and you hit the little arrows on the road, boom, and you'd shoot ahead you'd go 90, and then you'd shoot up to 120 real quick. That's what it looked like.
It was a little strange because I have to admit, when I was watching from my helicopter, that I could only see, I couldn't see how long he took that tow. But it does look like it was for a long time, and maybe it was because the way he left the pack below, but it was obvious that they were on a climb, and he just disappeared from that pack. Yeah. And can you imagine just the swearing that was going on in that pack of riders? That just this guy just
now,
whoa.
Here's something
they were
I
lined out,
and
then they sort of weren't anymore.
I haven't thought of this yet, but it just popped into my brain right now because we were just talking about the drama within Astana. Ooh, that rhymes.
It just sounds smooth.
Well done.
What are the chances that he did something ridiculous to get kicked out on purpose? Because he didn't want to be there.
I agree. The thought crossed my mind that he was just whatever, I want to go home. I promised my family we were going to go to the beach in 2 days, and all I got to do, I fell down. Oh, I'm taking a tow. Oh, yeah. I don't know. I think it's a 37% chance.
Anyways, I think that's a good question.
Yeah.
Now,
Thaddius, you were there. What was the scene on the ground?
The scene on the ground was a lot of people were happy that Nibali got tossed. If you ask a lot of riders, when I had them in my private VIP lounge, they were telling me how excited they were that he was gone. Because they felt it was blatant cheating when I brought up the fact that these riders were the same ones that crossed the train tracks with the down arms at past Paris-Roubaix. They were a little well, that's different. And again, this is where my issue is. I'm happy the UCI is enforcing this rule. It's about time they do stuff like this. But if you're going to do that, then you need to go all out on these guys that are crossing down arms on a train tracks, because that's much more dangerous and egregious than taking a sticky bottle across a roadway, because that's not going to hurt anybody the way that someone could die crossing a train tracks.
So you think maybe
they're very different things.
Yeah, the punishment was light for the train crossing and and maybe
light.
Heavy for Nibali? Is that what you're getting
Nibali,
at?
well, what would the other punishment be, right? So
it
looks
like the
similar
ASO to swapping a wheel like Richie Port. He lost 2 minutes for.
But isn't it just in the rule book?
I think clearly you're kicked out. Because isn't this what they did with the guy from AG2R or who was the guy that jumped in the car for like 150 meters at the tour?
Yeah.
Sepulveda or whatever.
Yeah.
Edward
Yeah, and he's
Sepulveda.
gone. So, again, big story. I think we're all in agreement that it was an apt punishment. If we go a little bit stories on the day, or really going into the Vuelta, is going to be Peter Sagan winning today. So, his final Grand Tour victory. And then,
Final Grand Tour victory? Is that it? He's done? He's retiring?
His final one for 2 years.
Yeah.
And then I think we need to talk about the showdown. Now that Nibali's gone, we really have a Nairo versus Froome, Aru, Landa. I think even TJ
Rodriguez is looking good.
J-Rod, yeah. So
I think this is the best thing that could happen to Astana, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what about the sad day? Do you know who got it worse was IM Cycling. They lost 2 guys on one stage as well. Yeah, they had a horrible day yesterday.
Well, I don't know.
So
I think it's for Astana, it's going to streamline their whole operation. They don't have to fight. Now if Aru needs the salt shaker, he can ask anybody. He doesn't have to ask the person near Nibali to pass it to him. It really simplifies things.
So I know we're talking about the Volta, but I do want to give a quick shout out to former guest star Adam Meyerson. Got 5th place at the Chris Thader Memorial in Binghamton, New York. Huge race up there. Pretty sweet result for his last ever Chris Thader Memorial. And then I think he's heading out to Boise next, or does he have a Gateway Cup in St. Louis?
No idea.
No idea. You guys don't care about domestic racing like I do.
You got the inside track there with the satellite phone. Can't you just call up some of your rich team owning buddies?
I could, but I don't want to.
Okay.
And then Nino Schurter won a. Did you guys watch the Red Bull mountain bike coverage?
I did not.
The final World in Italy. It was pretty rad. Nino Schurter won again.
You sound really excited. Are you a big fan?
I'm a big fan. Thaddius Bellweather is a huge fan of Nino Schurter. All right, so let's go into our Vuelta games, or Velo games, Fantasy Cycling League. Real quick, guys, I just want to let you know that I am going to win because I've managed to find a way to put 5 Movistar riders on one team, including I also added Pozavivo. I added Peter Sagan and Sammy Sanchez and Lawson Craddock.
You took Sanchez after all the shit you talked about Sanchez during the tour? And how much I had to sit here and defend Sanchez as a decent rider that still should belong in the peloton.
That makes perfect sense.
3 weeks later, oh, Sammy Sanchez. Oh, yeah.
I think you know how this works.
I just want to let you guys know that everyone on my team so far, after 3 stages, has already scored points for me, except 3 Movistar guys that I got at the bargain basement price of 12 points total. So I have high hopes for that team.
Good.
Did we all take Sagan?
We did.
I took Sagan.
I took Sagan. Okay, so we all got Sagan points. That's good.
Yep.
Spencer, you had Nibali?
No,
Like
absolutely
me?
not.
Did you? No? I was the only one with Nibali?
Yeah.
Tim, no Nibali?
Your team is
I did
taking a
not.
hit for that. Yeah. I did also
should probably
lose a
play team
rider.
up because I don't really remember.
I'm
Did you
good,
lose?
little guy.
I lost Consolero.
Little guy.
We should talk about that. Is he not having the worst, just like the worst luck this year?
Absolutely worst.
Guys, he's got to be retiring soon, huh?
I don't think he's going to go out like that.
You don't think so?
It's kind of a bummer way to go
You think
out.
maybe he'll do you think he'll do more Milan San Remo and then call it quits?
No, I think he'll just do another year.
Yeah.
I think he's got some demons to. That's the word. Get rid of. That's not the word. Exercise.
Tim, do you got the?
I don't know.
Do you have the Velo games pulled up right now? The stats, the standings.
I am.
You just
I'm
want to run
bringing
down
up
the top
league.
5 so we can give shout
Top
outs to
5.
all
We
the
have
deserving winners.
We have the speed limits by Rosa. We have Justin Schmidt's team, the Mountain Goats. We've had him on here a couple times before in the top rankings. We have the aptly named Vinokourov Sticky Bottle Glue from Alex. We have Faces of Aru from James, and then Baboon Pants. And these are Barry G. These are 5 teams, all separated by 205 points.
Nice.
I'm being beaten by Baboon
Spencer
Pants.
Howe is in 6th place with the Slow Ride Podcast B team.
Boom.
Spencer has TJ Van Garderen, Alejandro Valverde. He has Landa, Aru, Sagan. He does have Cancellara, Thomas De Gent, Sammy Dumoulin, the butterfly.
So close.
And Joe Dombrowski. Spencer, I have to admit, I actually kind of like your team here, finding a way to sneak Dombrowski in, who I can only hope has as good of a race as he did in Utah, but that's probably not going to happen.
Never know. He's only 4 points.
He was 4 points. He was a super bargain.
It was a pretty good.
I took him as well because why not? Why not jump on that bandwagon?
You're gonna have to scroll down a ways to find your little guy's team, and
I'm probably at the I can't be at the bottom.
Hey, shout out to longtime listener Brian Girding, who's only 5th from last this time around. Not too bad. Little guy.
He's like always our running back on these.
Little guy, I like that your team. You went with the Kobo name. I think it's the second year in a row for the Vuelta because you're all about the Kobo. I like
Buffalo.
how you also changed
the Buffalo.
I like how you changed your country to Portugal. You have Aru, Valverde, Nibali, Posavivo. Little guy, I'm sorry. There's no way you're going to beat me.
So.
Come on. Who else do I got Dombrowski and I have Sio Gauthier, but you couldn't pronounce that, so that's why you ignored saying it.
So the fun thing that I like best about Velo Games is opening up our teams once the teams come public, and opening up little guys and looking at the bottom row. Like the bottom 3 down there are always the wingnut little guy choices.
Dude, those are some solid picks. Just like number one, ours we match up because we both picked Dombrowski with our 4 points. Sio Gauthier, he's got no contract for next year. We just discussed the fact that Europcar is not. They've got nothing going for them right now. They're eating the cut rate croissants. And then Chavanel also, he's got no contract. He wants to get on Europcar. That's how bad it is for Sylvain Chavanel right now. He's trying to get on Europcar. And they're like, dude, this is sinking. This boat is sinking. And he's like, just let me get a little bit of it.
Have you guys seen my career?
So he needs to score a result. So like, those are some dudes that they need this, you know. And then and all my other guys are amazing, including
you do have some good picks, but I do want to point out some things that not have to do exactly with your picks, little guy. But have to do with the teams. First, shout out to Kate. Kate, I don't even know what to call your team because it's an emoticon. Your emoticon name that you chose was a smiley face with sunglasses. Very, very nice of you, Kate. It's a good-looking team.
It's pretty good.
This is a good team.
We also have hashtag I am not waving at anybody from Graham Partain in Gainesville, Florida. So, Graham, hashtag I'm not waving at you either.
Boom.
We also have TJV's Biceps presented by Little Guys Going Down from Mike Morse. Nice. So, TJ's Biceps have a little bit of love. Once again, it's the curious case of Sandy Kazar, which I think may be one of my favorite team names. It's consistent.
I mean, did you notice Eddie B and the Blood Bags? They could actually
they need to play.
Yeah, they could be at the cycle
right above them. The Schlexen effect.
Yep.
Do you think Eddie B and the Blood Bags is kind of? I would imagine it's kind of a rockabilly thing.
For Eddie B and the Blood Bags, that's
a little bit of guar.
Like they'd show up in some rat rods,
spray you down.
Oh man.
All right, we're gonna have to. Eddie B and the Blood Bags is definitely gonna be on the Psychopalooza flyer and festival T-shirt.
Very nice.
There's some good stuff on here, guys. I'm very excited about the Vuelta slow ride. I think that it's good. You know, funny story on my end is that I did a fantasy cycling draft, much like the league that we created all those years ago. There's a league here in Orlando, and I was lucky enough to be invited to play. And I had the 4th pick, and so the first pick of the draft was Chris Froome. Second pick was Nairo Quintana. Third pick was Alejandro Valverde. Now, who do you guys think I took with my first pick for Team Tainted Supplement? That's my team name.
Did you take Buhani?
I did not take Buhani with the 4th pick.
Well, the gummy bear wasn't in there.
I will say this, that
already
my
gone.
pick Knowing what we know now, 3 stages in, who do you think I took with my first pick?
I'm pretty sure you took Nibali.
I guess you took Nibali.
Yeah.
I took Nibali, so it's
Yeah.
only natural that he's no longer in the race.
Yeah.
I then took John Degenkolb, which I thought was a very wise pick. I thought you guys would be proud of me for taking that.
It's pretty good.
And then I went to Talansky.
That's terrible.
Yeah. That's your third pick?
I got,
There's a lot of guys left in this pool.
Well,
I gotta
well, there's 7 teams, right? I took Sammy Sanchez, just for you, little guy. I'm a real believer in Sammy Sanchez.
I know. It suddenly
took his
you're,
whole
like,
career.
spreading the Sammy Sanchez gospel.
I took
Yeah, in his 38th year of life, suddenly Tim's like, "Hey, I like the Sammy Sanchez guy. Where'd he come from?"
Hi, I'm Jake Wells. Listen to the Slow Ride Podcast.
Hey, did you guys, we got a most recent brand new review on iTunes that we'd like to thank Alan Lamb for writing a review. 5 stars. And it was called Review of Free Podcast. And he says, with the big titanium contract looming, more and more fans will be revisiting the early stuff. Check out their B samples and charity competitions. It's not my job to educate you. I don't know what any of that means other than B samples. And
I guess we're getting old, so we're gonna get sponsored by a titanium company.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Maybe
That
a
would be
dig.
great.
So this is a segue. This is a little bit of a segue, guys. In that Sarah, as you know, got a job. So now I
Congratulations,
have.
Sarah.
I'm very excited. My wife is going to be a professor, which has been a lifelong goal of hers. And so, of course, I'm like, hey, honey, now that you have a job, and then what do I say? Because what I'm trying to get across is I need a moots. I need a titanium bike because I'm getting close to that age. I need a lifetime bike. So how do you bring this up very tactfully?
Well, I think what you just do is maybe leave the link open to Firefly's Flickr page because they do gorgeous photography of their bikes, and just get her interested in the artistic side of it, and then just don't tell her how much the bike costs, and say, babe, I'm thinking about selling like 2 or 3 of my bikes and just getting this one, and get the nod of approval before she knows it's $4,000.
So do I do the nod of approval with the Firefly? See, one thing that I was thinking is that I could do like kind of leave out the employee purchase or like dealer purchase agreement and be like, look at how much I'm saving you for a lifetime bike. Think of how many bikes I don't need to buy if I get this bike for the rest of my life.
I think
That's genius.
the word purchase is really going to bury you.
Okay. So
I think you sell those scooters that you own.
Yeah,
And
I've been
then-
trying to
and
sell
then-
that scooter.
So sell the scooter, but then you can sort of be bringing that up. You can
So-
be like, hey, I sell the scooter. I got $75.
So here's
So I've been thinking about buying this $7,000 bike.
Maybe
Here's the
maybe
problem with
you
selling.
you go this way. Wait, you tell her how you keep missing out on all these Strava KOMs by just a few fractions of a second, and if your bike was just maybe a little bit
That's not
lighter
gonna occur.
and slightly more laterally compliant, but yet vertically stiff, that you could take those KOMs and really bring some honor to the family name.
Oh, that's a.
No,
I like that.
Spencer, see, you got it all wrong. Tim needs vertically compliant and laterally stiff.
Oh.
Or whatever. He needs the opposite of what you said.
Is
That's
it because
not
of my
right.
elbows?
Yeah.
I didn't, little guy. I didn't think anybody knew what either of those terms were referring to, and now I'm worried.
So okay, well, I will be getting a new moots at some point.
Wait, are you getting a road bike or cross bike or gravel bike?
I'm going to be getting.
Are you gonna get an adventure bike?
I'm going to get a
or an
road.
adventure bike?
A gravel
Can't have
bike?
an adventure on a road
Wait,
bike.
what's the
Hey, guys.
difference between a gravel bike and an adventure bike?
Little guy, is that the news desk guy here?
No.
So
No,
this
that's
break
it.
Morse code.
Carlos Betancourt signs with Movistar. Whoop, whoop. How excited are you
No.
guys?
Wait,
You know,
who?
I'm not as excited as you are.
The gummy bear.
The gummy bear.
Carlos Bet guys, that was So I got home from my ride and my phone was blowing up.
Was it like Christmas for you?
It was pretty awesome because now he's going to be awesome. He's going to be the Colombian lieutenant for Nairo Quintana. This is going to be...
Now he's going to be awesome.
He was awesome at one time. Now he's going to come back. He gets off the French team, which is just full of quitters.
So,
guys, this is so good. I don't even need to like AG2R anymore. I'm changing all my loyalties 100% to Movistar. Full on.
That's going to be great for them.
Do you think this will actually help him, though? Because, I mean...
Yes.
I only hope is that other Colombians on the team can, slap the...
Can talk to him and be like, dude, you're going slow.
Yeah.
I think...
And be like, hey, that's 7,000 calories. Put that down.
Ease off the plantains.
I think Movistar now has a viable Giro GC contender where they will allow Nairo and Valverde to go all out for the Tour. I think this is a very good move for Betancourt's career.
Well, I'm sure they picked him up for a song. I just think he's like a shot in the dark. Think of how many times the Timberwolves will pick up some guy who's been good, but he's had some troubles. Maybe he's eaten too much. Mm-hmm. It never works out.
Mm-hmm. Well, Timmy, the big question I have... I'm sorry, Thaddius, the big question I have is that... I
was wondering who you're talking to.
I'm just used to our old host.
You mean my butler?
Fell back into old habits, yeah. My main concern is does this change the flavor of gummy bear? We've always considered Carlos to be the green gummy bear. Does this change anything in that regard? Does he become? No. Is there a blue gummy bear?
I think he's as green as possible.
Wait, did we decide that he was green?
I no longer
because I have never ever thought about what flavor he'd be. I have to say,
the green one. He's our favorite.
Our previous host Tim definitely referred to him as the green gummy bear. Everyone's favorite flavor of gummy bear, I think, was the reasoning, but I'm not sure if this changes with his new team.
Is that a fact that that's the favorite flavor? What is the green flavor?
Green.
It's green. It's like watermelon, so it's healthy.
Or apple, maybe.
Watermelon? Have you ever eaten like the outside of a watermelon is green, but the part you eat's not green?
We don't know.
So.
Thaddius can't be bothered with
I was very excited about Carlos Betancourt joining up. I thought it was a great thing for cycling as a whole and for Colombian cycling. Over this past week, we did get a lot of tweets throughout. Colin Hurley hit us up with a tweet of a podium bike that was seen at the United States Pro Cycling Challenge presented by Quiznos, Smashburger, whatever. That was a little disappointing to see podium bikes slowly working their way into the ranks.
Did you guys see the Volta prologue?
Yeah, I did see.
Podium bike.
There was a podium bike there?
But that was a team time
World
trial.
Tour podium bike.
I feel like maybe that's like the possible exception to the rule. Like, I don't like it, but I'll accept it.
No exception to the rule.
You're not in anybody else's way. You know what I mean?
No, but it's part of the problem.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And
I agree.
And it was BMC, and it feels like they're a little too American. They're trying to bring their American ways, their Eddie B. Bloodbag ways, into the World Tour.
We got a nice.
It's okay.
We got a nice shout out from Michael Toth, longtime listener, who said, "Hey, Hubbard Watch, best Instagram tip ever." So I'd like to thank for that. I think Hubbard Watch is some great stuff.
Yeah, we had a caller last week give us a tip on that, so that was pretty good.
Yeah, and then we have Kevin Barnett, and this question is for you, little guy. He tweets, the double-double? Are you ordering coffee and donuts in Canada at a well-known coffee chain?
Is that how you do it there? I've never been in one of those Tom Hortons or whatever they're called.
It's a Tim Hortons.
Never been in a Tim Horton.
I don't know if you guys saw the qualification system for the World Championship seems a little shady and weird to me.
It's confusing,
to the fact that
for sure.
The United States almost missed out on having 5 riders because Brazil almost beat them in the UCI Continental or the Americas Challenge, which
America's Tour
kind of messed up. But Canada gets a full team because they're prioritizing these America's races. What do you guys think about that? Should every country have a rider in there?
I don't know if that would be possible.
So maybe there should be a B World Championship with Ivan Stevic?
No.
Maybe. If every country got one rider, then there's no way that, the top 10 nations could bring 9 guys or whatever the hell they're going to do.
Why couldn't they?
I don't know.
Like they could.
How many nations are there in the world?
Let me say this: not every country should get a rider, but Eurasia, which has an amazing cycling pedigree right now. Eritrea, is that what it is? Sorry.
I think it's something. I don't know how you get Eritrea or whatever.
Well, regardless.
Yes, Eritrea.
Eritrea only has one rider going to the World Championships, yet they have multiple riders that are at the World Tour level because they're not racing. They're no longer racing in the Africa Championships, the Continental Championships. That seems a little weird to me. You would think that a team like that has that many good riders should maybe get more than just one.
Yeah, I can see the logic in that. It does sort of like it hurts them for stepping up a level.
Yeah,
in,
I don't
in a
see
sense.
why
like
they don't do something like take the top 150 on the UCI rankings or something. You know?
Well, it's by country, so it's by the different tours depending upon regions. So I mean, it makes sense by the regions, but only in that you'd imagine that like American riders are riding more in the Americas tour, and that African riders are riding more in the African tour. But like you said, when the top African riders are riding in Europe, it definitely changes the
Yeah.
I don't know how to make it better. As it is, it's a very confusing system. The in-ring fella had a good breakdown the other day, but I still left confused.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of
especially the numbers rankings. So like, you get 5 because of this, but these guys get to send 6
I'm thinking
because this.
The part that Inner-Ring left out of the article on that was like you should have had at least a paragraph or two dedicated to the manila envelope stuffed with cash that you needed to secure.
That's a little known. It's a little known team, but as the team benefactor of Manila envelope stuff with cash, I'm very excited about the riders that I'm getting to bring for my own country that I am soon going to buy. I'm from Kazakhstan.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Hey, Marilyn Rayner on Twitter says, "Hey guys, hey Slow Ride Pod, thanks for mentioning the ladies that shred on the podcast. And yes, everything in Columbus is on High Street."
Boom, nailed it.
That's what I thought.
Yep. There we go. This one was a little weird. Hey, how did the Richmond 2015 foam party says, "Hey, how did the idiots over at the Slow Ride Pod get to 70 episodes already? Their mothers must be proud." Probably. And then Clay Sum at One Pure Noise says, "But more likely ashamed, particularly Tim's mom." Now, that is probably why Tim is no longer on the podcast, because his mom was ashamed as he lived in her basement until he was 31 years old.
Woof.
He's also, wasn't he one of those kids that they had to wear like the leash?
A kid's on a leash. Yes.
Oh, hey.
I mean, I don't know. I've never seen this Tim guy.
Thaddeus, it's getting close to Minnesota State Fair time. Have you ever been there?
I have been to the Minnesota State Fair.
That's exciting.
Lots of cool things. Hey, little guy. Lots of people tweeting us pictures of ugly signs that are popping up around the Twin Cities that say, "Hey, say on your left." Very ugly.
Right? See, I didn't make that stuff up.
It is an ugly, ugly sign.
That's a pretty terrible
It's
sign.
probably drawn by that guy that draws all the
kind of looks like a Termin piece.
posts.
Yeah.
It does look like a Termin piece. Yeah.
It looks like he half-heartedly did it.
Yeah, I'll do that. Sure. Did it real quick. Yeah, no, that's so surreal.
And it sounded like we were getting.
To be fair, it's probably the first time Termin's drawn a dude on riding a bike. That's the one gripe I have with.
He kept submitting women on cruisers.
Yeah. Here's a scantily clad
dresses, and
hipster lady on a bike.
they were like, no, we want a guy, and he was like, okay, I'll try again. I just can't figure this out. Okay, woman on cruiser in dress, cleavage. Got it. Damn it, I did it again.
Oh. Wait! I'm gonna change it up this time. Okay. Women on cruiser, scantily clad, Greenbelt Bridge. Whew, man, total. Oh no, landmark. Can't do it. I just. All right. So, besides throwing under the bus the most popular cycling artist in the Twin Cities.
Whatever. I'm sick of looking at it.
The big news over the weekend, guys, is that lots of people seem to agree with us that bells are okay, but they're not. They shouldn't be expected. No. So,
this is passing etiquette you're talking about, Tim?
Yeah. So, like, if you use a bell, that's okay. It's good if you use a bell, but if you don't use a bell, it's okay, and just yell or whatever. I'm just not a fan of saying on your left because whenever I say on your left, it's like people move into the left. Whereas a bell, they're like, huh? Like they're alert. They like become a dog, and they're like, oh man, something's coming. When you say on your left, people are like, what? I'll look over my left. I'll look over my right shoulder, but move into the left lane.
Yeah. I just remember this, and maybe we have one listener in Toronto who can correct me if I'm wrong. But when I was in Toronto, like 6-7 years ago or something, Caitlin got pulled over for running a stop sign. And the cop was talking to her about it. And he's like, where's your bell? And she's like, what do you mean, where's my bell? And he's like, you have to have a bell. And we were just like, we're Americans. We have no idea what's going on. Like, we're sorry we ran the stop sign. But if I'm remembering right, she almost got a ticket for not having a bell.
She almost got deported, little guy.
She could have been deported.
Well, right? I know that Derek Lewis tweeted and said that you have to have a bell in New York City, technically.
Really?
And people put it on their chain stays just to get by with it.
Why would you do it? Why not put it on your handlebars so you can
those
ring it?
Clean lines on your bars.
Because, little guy, you can't put it on your handlebars when you have to constantly take your hands off to wave at everybody.
I guess you got like 7 power meters up there, right?
Yeah. Got to check the watts.
Why? No, really. Why would you put a bell not on your handlebars? I mean, if you have to have a bell, you might as well enjoy the benefits of a bell.
Dinging. The sweet song of the bell.
So I rode my cross bike that has a bell on it down to the river bottoms yesterday, and I hadn't ridden that bike off road I think since I put a bell on it, and my bell was ringing a lot because like the grasses and everything are really overgrown right now on the trail, and so I'd come around a corner and you'd like rub against a bunch of branches and stuff, and my bell would bing 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 would go off, and then I'd have, a log, and I'd have to hop the log, and my bell would go ding. It made exciting.
Did the squirrels get out of the way?
Yeah, it made the squirrels get out of the way. That segues right into my Greenway story, which is kind of two parts. First part, actual Greenway story part tonight is that I rode by some birds on the side of the Greenway, and they flew up. They were like grackles, and they flew like across the trail and almost flew into me. And only at the last second did they like see me and turn and not kill me. I almost got poked in the side of the head with a grackle. The other part is
that was a thrill a minute. That story. That was a roller coaster ride of emotion I just had.
No, here's this is awesome. You guys know the little bit of trail we would always ride through Pig's Eye on the way up to Afton, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, past the little stream that looks like it's got like nuclear waste or something
that's
in
the
it.
annual.
It was the secret climb. It was the secret climb too.
Yeah,
up to Mounds Park. Yeah.
No, not that. Not down there. Oh, farther down.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Anyway,
the pea break.
I came around the corner and I dipped into the woods, and a deer ran away from me. And so I saw it, and I kind of slowed down and make sure that there weren't more deer that were going to run out and jump in front of me. And as I did, I looked to my right, and on a log, on like a down tree, right next to the trail,
I just fell off my seat. Sorry.
Wait, no, there was an owl, like 5 feet from me, and it looked at me, and it stared, and we made eye contact.
Did it go?
Was weird and cool. No, it didn't make any sound. It just stared at me with those big, scary eyes.
They are scary.
And then I got a little farther, and there's a turn in the road, and right in the middle of the road was a baby bird. and I almost hit it, and I got off, and I was trying to push it off the road, and I was trying to poke it with a stick to get it off the trail because I didn't want to pick it up because I was worried it would peck me to death.
Okay.
And then this other cyclist came up, and she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm trying to get this bird off the thing." She's like, "Just pick it up," and I was like, "I don't want it to peck me." And she's like, "It's not gonna peck you.
It's not like
It's a baby bird.
Yeah, she's like, "It's a baby. It's not gonna hurt you." So she just went over and picked it up and moved it off the trail. And I was like, "Oh, thanks. You're pretty brave." And then she said, "No, I grew up on a farm." And then that was it.
And then the owl came and grabbed the little bird and ate it.
Well, I did think about that. I was like, man, there's an owl like 10 feet down the road that's gonna eat this guy pretty soon.
He's a goner.
Eat this little guy.
So
yeah,
that's my story.
Did you interrupt like a Bambi situation where was the owl and the deer having some sort of meeting before you got there, or what?
You know, they were really close to each other. They probably were. They were like, "What do we want to do about that baby bird down the trail?" And I was like, "I'm gonna eat the fucking thing. That's what I want to do about it." And the deer was like, "I don't know, man.
I gotta advocate
cool.
on the behalf of the birds. You know, they didn't want to come over and talk to you themselves because they're a little nervous, but you know, I think maybe you should just let him go. He's not doing anything.
So
it's like,
interesting.
I was like, nobody ever comes to talk to me. He's like, well, everyone kind of thinks you're gonna eat them, so like, you know, it's kind of hard. You know, it's like I'm the only one that can talk to you.
So guys, I was I'm not very familiar with where you ride bikes because where I ride bikes is usually the Alps,
up to your lair,
other
up to your castle.
famous streets. Huh. Yeah. So, but I was hanging out with the other or with other one percenters really, and I met this pretty interesting Russian fellow who owns a cycling team.
Okay.
His name is Oleg Tinkov. Pretty nice guy. Kind of a little aloof, kind of a little bit out there. But he was telling me all about the time that he actually owned a cycling team well before his current cycling team of Tinkoff Credit Saxo. And it was pretty amazing. Did you guys know that there was a Tinkoff credit team back in like 2008?
You know, I knew that. And, you know, they had a rider that I think you're familiar with signed on that team by the name of, he was an American. So, you know, we're all very proud of him. His name was Tyler Hamilton.
Oh, man, that team. I did a little bit of research into this team. Uh-huh. That is an amazing team. I don't even know if they ever even did a race, really. But, man.
I don't think they did.
There was 1 year there.
Yeah, I don't know what they did.
Wasn't that a crazy team? That reminded me a lot of, what was the team that Rasmussen was on? Christina Watches?
Christina Watches.
Like, just kind of there? Like, you're like they just put up some press releases on cycling news every now and then, and then it's like,
so who else was on Tinkoff other than Hamilton?
The first Tinkoff-Saxoff team? I'll have to look this up, because
I believe, I mean, you heard a lot of ex-dopers,
full range of
all
dopers,
I can think of is Rock Racing. All I think is of Rock, because Rock had like Santiago Botero and Seville, and I don't know, other
so they were founded in 2007. They disbanded in 2008. They had Vasyl Kiryenka. They had
Did they?
Yep, they had Pavel Brut.
Okay, so they had all these.
They had Mikhail Ignatiev. Remember him? He was like wasn't he the track world or the Olympic points race champion? He was like the sprinter.
He was still on Astana or something?
I don't know.
He's still racing,
now.
isn't he?
Well, not anymore.
And that was pretty much it. They don't even have a full team roster on Cycling News for him.
Oh man!
But it was pretty crazy.
Deeper into this. Okay.
They did have Tyler Hamilton, but he never like suited up for him. Like he never raced for him. He just like showed up to training camp.
Yeah, they had nice black and yellow kits.
Really?
They were pretty
good maybe looking. It was his. Yeah, they were actually.
They did. Didn't they do Milan San Remo?
We don't know.
Wait, so they actually rode the Giro.
They rode the Giro twice, and the Vuelta once. Well, at least that's where they've got results. I'll have to do some more deep cut research, but.
You know what's really funny?
Yeah?
If you go to Pro Cycling Stats and you search for Tinkoff and you look and you click on the whole 2008 Tinkoff team, it just brings you to the 2015 Katusha page.
But they're not.
Nice.
It's just like whatever. We put it in the random dirty team generator and it just spits out a team.
Well, guys, I really appreciate the opportunity to be a guest host on this wonderful podcast, which I found on iTunes, Stitcher. Subscribe, leave us reviews. like to thank all of the listeners for joining in. You're what makes this show great. Tweet us at the Slow Ride Pod. You can email us at the Slow Ride Podcast. We have a live show happening in Richmond, Virginia.
Yeah, we do. Someone should come.
Someone had better come. I'm going to be really
Bring
sad
your friends.
talking to this empty room.
If your friends don't like our podcast, tell them you're going to do something else, and then the last minute, trick them. Bring them.
And you could definitely.
And we'd like to thank BK1. We'd like to thank BK1
Yep.
for the awesome music, Rhyme Sayers Entertainment. And we'd like to thank you, the listeners, for subscribing. And if you ever see a fellow spandex clown wearing nerd out on the road, make sure you wave to him, even if they're wearing the team jersey you don't like.
Even if
Wave to
they're
them.
wearing a 2008 Tinkoff Credit Systems black and yellow kit that you don't know where quite they got that, you should give them a wave because, we're just all...
Even if it's Tom Danielson continuing to wear his Garmin Cannondale jersey while he's riding up Bootleg Canyon at 8:30 in the morning that we're receiving multiple reports out of Boulder, you still wave to Tom D.
Is he on the list
Even if
yet
it's...
of of riders that are actually suspended?
It's kind of weird.
You can always wave with
hell?
just, select digits if you want. That's fine, but acknowledge.
Even if you... Have you guys seen pictures of Lance Armstrong as of late? He's gone full Amish. He's got the beard, but he doesn't have this part. And this part, because we're on radio and no one can see, it looks like he's not growing the part above his lip. So it looks like he's got this weird Amish thing going. Maybe there is some facial hair there and it's just gray and it golds in and it blends in with his pale white skin. I don't know.
Possible.
But he's got a beard. I'm going to wave to him if I see him out there riding his bike.
I guarantee you will.
Yeah, because you'd be so confused. You'd be like, that guy looks just like Lance Armstrong. Hey, oh shit, it's Lance Armstrong. Crap, I look at Lance
He's got a
Armstrong.
weird
And then
beard.
you call everybody.
So you better start waving.
Everybody you know.
And if you're not going to
Tell
wave, you better be ringing that damn bell.
Yeah.
And with that, don't be that.
The Slow Ride Podcast. Bikes, advice, and rumors straight from the source. TheSlowRidePodcast.com and on Twitter at The Slow Ride Pod.
Hey, little guy.
Hey.
How's it going?
Good.
Do you realize we made it through the entire episode, of which a certain rider did get fourth place in the second stage of the Giro, and we didn't have to listen to the dumbest joke ever?
Oh, yeah, we made it.
That we made it. We made it.
We were worried you'd win, Spencer.
We wonder where he went.
We were like Tim called me when the second stage was happening. He's like, "Oh no, Dan Martin's gonna win. Oh no, Dan Martin's gonna win.
Yeah.
Spencer's gonna totally want to talk about Dan Martin. No." And then he didn't pull it out, and we were like, "Oh fuck it, I'm fucking sick of Dan Martin."
Oh, God. Woo! We made it. What an amazing episode.